Okay, so you read the title, you know why you're here again, but we need to talk about Noli once again in a row. Again, I made my first impressions video, I believe, on Saturday. I think that's when I released it. So my impressions have already changed. But, yeah, so Noli actually is just a more gimmicky cool kid. I literally have been, just then, last time so I'm already like level 50 something on Noli. I'm almost level 60, I believe. I believe I'm like level 50 something. But, yeah, so I believe that Noli is actually just a more gimmicky cool kid. His Void Rush, I thought, didn't serve the same purpose as cool kids want to be override. Turns out it does. I mean, it's used slightly differently, but it still serves the same purpose. I use it to catch up to survivors and also catch them off guard. Another thing I found out you can do is you can actually chain your Void Rush, which I guess is pretty cool. But, yeah. His Nova, its pull is decent, I guess, but it is a terrible way to catch up to survivors. I'm also gonna have to talk about what I think Noli needs in order to actually, be truly balanced in this game. And again, the update's been out for a while. I already got on a few things like the yourself skin for Noli, so you'll actually see that, I think, in the next piece of footage here. But the one thing that actually annoys me about Noli is his predictability. This is so annoying, and not only that, half the time my hitboxes are on me. Not in front of me, on me. You see, I actually should probably turn around and hit a survivor. That's what it looks like I have to do. By the way, we're using the same footage from, I'm using a clip from the first impressions video, but whatever. Who cares? It's my footage. It's my video. I don't do whatever I want. Anyway. So, yeah. Another thing about Noli is that you can actually punish players by using Nova on them as they stun. Like, for example, I use it on Guess, and then I get a free, 40 damage on them? You get a free Void Rush on them. Isn't that something? But anyway, yeah, so his Void Rush, I think, needs a slight rebalance. Now, I'm not saying he needs to be completely nerfed. No, I think it actually needs a buff and a nerf. This is what I'm going to talk about with Noli. He's definitely weak, but he's not as weak as people are saying he is. He can be very good. I've won almost every match as Noli, unless they were, like, competent players. And again, look at, see, how half the hitbox is behind me? You can probably see that in the next piece of footage. But Noli, his hitboxes are so wonky, dude. It actually makes me annoyed. Another thing is, I feel like his Void Rush is a little too predictable, which I think is fine. But make it similar. I feel like they should make it kind of similar to, what is it? Cool Kid's actual speed. I think instead of just doing 40 damage and giving them hallucination, it should give them hallucination too, but also give them, I would say, hear me out, helpless. I know. It would only be for 4 seconds though, honestly. Just because, it's kind of OP. This is only on the slam though, because it would be more balanced if it was on the slam. So, you only get helpless if you slam into them. I think that would be a pretty decent idea. The only downside would be that it will be decreased to 35 damage instead of 40. That's the only downside, I think. They could keep it the same and just give helpless for 4 seconds, but honestly, for example, this is actually, because I think Noli should be a good counter for Survivalist, for example. I think Noli being decent against Survivalists is a great idea. Because again, Cool Kid, this should be like pretty much the opposite of Cool Kid. It should be that he counters Survivalists, gets countered by Sentinels, and both of them are decent at killing supports. It should pretty much be that. That's my take on Noli. I think Noli should be like that. But yeah. His Nova, though? God, we gotta talk about his Nova. Jesus Christmas. His Nova is so poor, dude. So poor. It is very wonky in terms of what counts as a wall and what doesn't. Like, I hit trees directly, and it goes to the small hitbox. But then I hit it onto the floor. Like, it's weird, because it feels like it keeps switching. I don't know what it is. Could someone fill me in on that? Because I actually have to know. But, yeah. Another thing I think Noli kind of needs is definitely a slight buff to his hallucination. Or tweak his hallucination a little bit. Noli doesn't need a rework. He already did, but I feel like his hallucination should be, like, the main focus. It shouldn't be, like, he has to rely on hallucination to kill survivors. No, what I think it should do is I think they should focus a little bit more on hallucination. So hopefully in, like, maybe the next major update or hotfix, or a little update, they give Noli, like, you know, what is it? Like, they just give Noli some, like, how do I say it? Like, I feel like the fake Nolis should be a lot more detrimental to survivors. I feel like they should be punished for doing that. Another thing, I think instead of making hallucination exclusive to Noli's abilities and generators, I think that if, what is it? I feel like they, no, actually, never mind. That's stupid. I'm sorry, guys. Forget I said that. Mind wipe. Anyway. I feel like the Noli should deal at least some bit of damage, but not, like, all the damage they do, because, yeah. Like, I feel like it should actually do something that just isn't, you know, like, doing absolutely no damage. Again, it can ruin survivors, but it's easy to tell which one's the real Noli, judging by the fact that none of them use abilities. I think if the fake Noli could use actual abilities, I think that would be pretty cool to tell, like, which one's the fake Noli or not. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, make the fake generators a little more obvious due to the fact that I actually literally am... Dude, my eyes... Literally yesterday, when I was grinding Noli and stuff, I was playing against Nolis and stuff, I was grinding my guest thing. Dude, I was squinting at the top of the generator so hard that my eyes were about to pop open, bro. It is so hard, like, to figure out which generator is fake. Because, like, dude, I don't even know. It is so hard to tell which one's fake or not, so I think if that works, like, make it a little more obvious. Don't re-add the colors to the game, like the colors of the numbers back, because I feel like that it just didn't really fit the vibe of the generators. It just doesn't really make any sense, in my opinion, you know. But yeah. Another thing about Noli is I feel like he needs a slight buff to his wind-up time. I don't know if I mentioned this in my first impressions, but his wind-up time is ridiculously so long. It's weird because I feel like it's the same wind-up time as 1x though. I don't know. It's weird. I actually might I feel like a lot of people are like overreacting onto his thing, but honestly, dude, he needs more ways to counter Sentinels though, because Sentinels hard counter Noli, especially Guest. As I said in my last video, Guest is still a hard counter. Taff isn't as much of a counter as he was. So I think Noli needs a slight buff to his reactability, like his reaction time it takes, but it's fine if it doesn't get that. But so that's really all I have for Noli's buff. But again, I think Noli's still pretty. I think Noli's slightly weak, but if you bait, but see, like Noli can punish survivors in so many ways, especially survivalists and supports. Due to the fact they're his like main targets. As you can see, I saved the Guest for last on purpose because not only did he have a punch ready, but the Deuce of Card was just an easier target due to the fact it only has that, thing to it. So, with that, that's all I have for today. See you guys later. Peace.
Man.